Hello, my name is Kane. This is Castle Tillage, your home defense network. There's been a lot of articles and a lot of forums, a fair number of forums, and even some videos on YouTube who are really asking about, what should you have on you? Should you have a backup gun? What other defensive tools should you have on you? James Yeager says this. Rob Pincus says this. I'm more into the Rob Pincus end of things between the two. I think if I remember right, James Yeager has a 19 and 226s on him, and I think that's appropriate for him because that's basically his brand. Um, uh, as far as Rob Pincus is on the other side of the spectrum, where he carries one, he'll have a couple of extra magazines, and he's not afraid to take off the gun to like go to a restaurant with a bunch of friends and have a couple of beers. And I'm in that side of the fence. I'm not going to not go to my child's event. With my son playing basketball or my daughter ice skating. I'm not going to go because I never and always have to have my gun. People who use never and always, those absolutes, you should take with it really a grain of salt. So when you're dealing with, how many guns you should have on you, the argument always isn't, should I have a backup to the backup, but should I have a backup to the backup to the backup? Where is the stopping point? The more little ornaments that you have on your person, the more you need to really train. Plausible principle training scenarios, like Rob Pincus says, is that you train for the 80% of the most popular events that probably will happen to you, and then you adapt to the other 20%. I think that is a very healthy outlook toward it. How are you going to train a handgun going against an AK-47 in a mall scenario? Well, let's just say that he's 100 feet away. Are you going to have your pistol in an offensive stance going against an AK-47, where it may be a closer range defensive stance, spray and pray kind of a scenario? But how do you train for that? Do you need to have 60 rounds on you, 3 magazines and 60 rounds? You know that's up to you. But when you're dealing with the statistics, it's going to be a few rounds in a few seconds, and it's over. That's going to be a majority of what's going to be happening to you in an out of the home concealed carry situation. Um, you know, People have asked me in the past, should you have pepper spray? Should you have a Kubotan? A light that can you can also hit people with. What else is there? Knives, blah blah blah. You know, and they'll try to say, well, law enforcement uses this scenario. Why you're telling me we shouldn't? Well, I I think we should have our deadly force set up closely mimicking the police department. Um, and what's that lawyer's name at CCW Safe? Um, he, he talks about that a lot. Kyle Sweet. He talks about that a lot. When a civilian uses a handgun, it is in a defensive situation. Law enforcement officers are also on an offensive stance also. So they are also having some information that we may not have. They may get a call saying that there is a drunk guy that's being belligerent and he's in the street. So when they get there, their thought process is towards mace and a stun gun. Well, we don't have that luxury. When we are in the street, um, are we going to be training on pepper spray? Are we going to be training on other tools in our repertoire to get it done? I don't think that our thought process is going to be able to think like an officer while he's driving to that situation. I think it is important for us to have a limited amount of tools on us. I also say it's a very important thing is that we don't just have deadly force on us. And it's and if you read a lot of the comments in some of my other videos, the people who make these comments, they only have one tool in their arsenal, and it's that proverbial hammer, and they say all problems as a nail. You are 3 to 1 more chance of being in a assault against you without a weapon compared to having a weapon. Okay, that is something that you need to rectify. So if you have 4 assaults on you in a week, 3 of them is going to be from a non-deadly threat compared to 1 if you're very unlucky that week. Okay, so it really boils to you. Are you going to be on the James Yeager side where you need to have 3 guns on you, which is his brand, compared to a Rob Pincus where it's more reasonable, where he is not afraid to just have a couple of magazines and a gun, not afraid to enjoy his life, seeing his kids' events, going to a restaurant, going to, if I go watch the Twins or the Vikings play, we can't have guns there, or go watch the Gopher basketball team. Holy cow, who would want to do that though right now? You're going to have those guns locked away. You can't go to that. Are you not going to enjoy your life because event says if you bring a gun to event, it's illegal, and you're not going to go because it is illegal? Live your life. That's what I'm really trying to convey. Plausible principle training scenarios. Train for the 80%, adapt for the 20%, and go from your life from there. My name is Caden. This is Castle Tutelage, your home defense network. I hope this helped.